Aloha from the Montverde Athletic Center on the campus of Iolani School in Honolulu, Hawaii. And welcome to the Iolani Prep Basketball Classic presented by the Twin Fin. This is day one of the first round of the tournament, and we're getting set for Montverde Academy from Florida versus the host team, Iolani School. Hello everybody, I'm John Tamanaha alongside Coach Dean Shimamoto, and Carter Uechi is also here with us. And Coach, getting set to see the #1 team in the country, Montverde Academy Eagles. This is not the first time they've been here. They are putting on a show, as you can see in the warm-ups.
That's Montverde. They're one of those special teams that every time they come, people show out, and they just happen to be the preseason #1 ranked team in the country. 11 players ranked in the ESPN rankings, and I feel like they might have a second squad that could go out and win this tournament.
Yeah, absolutely. And all the cell phones were out, and people were, St. Louis players were trying to not peek. I looked over there, and they were taking a look. But Montverde started the season at #1, then they lost the game to AZ Compass, but they're back at #1, folks, because, and we've heard of one of these teams before, they beat Bishop Walsh from Maryland, 64-41, convincing victory, and then they beat Oak Hill Academy from mouth of Wilson, Virginia, who has come to this Iolani Classic several times. They beat Oak Hill 78-51 at the Bob Kirk Invitational, so the Eagles are back at #1 in Max Preps. You know, they play in that league where, you know, 7 of the 10 teams in the league are ranked.
Definitely a national schedule for a team like Montverde. They travel probably more than a college does on most occasions for most colleges, but when you watch them practice, you see them come out and do warm-ups, you're wondering what college team they are. Because it's not just the size and athleticism, it's the skill, the decision-making, the control, the ability. I mean, so many levels. This team is really, really, really good. I mean, the rankings are not unjustified.
Seniors on this team are headed to Kansas, Georgetown, Oregon, Illinois, Duke. Those are just the seniors, highly recruited juniors and sophomores. Montverde is a 7-time national championship program. They've won the Iolani Classic in 2017. This is their 5th appearance in the Iolani Classic, and they've always put on a show under the direction of Coach Kevin Boyle, who's one of the top, if not the top, coach in the nation at the high school level.
He has so many wins. And again, you just talked about their last win at Montverde coming against Oak Hill. Another legendary coach there, Steve Smith, has been to Hawaii on many occasions already. I think he won his 900th game against me.
Yeah.
And they wore pre-printed shirts as if we weren't going to beat them, but we didn't. And he won his 900th game. But again, these legendary programs, legendary coaches that have made their way through Hawaii and the Iolani Classic on their way to national championships on a lot of occasions. These teams are really good.
And they're getting set for their first round game in the Iolani Prep Basketball Classic presented by the Twin Fin. They will take on the St. Louis Crusaders, defending champions of the state of Hawaii. Let's go down to public address announcer Kyle Miyamoto for the starting lineups.
Hello, basketball fans. Welcome to the Father Kennedy Athletic Center here on the campus of Iolani School for the 2022 Iolani Prep Basketball Classic. Game number 4 features the Montverde Academy Eagles from Montverde, Florida, and the St. Louis Crusaders from Honolulu, Hawaii. Please remember that sportsmanship is important not only for the athletes and officials, but also for the spectators. We ask that you enjoy the game and respect the dignity of the sport by cheering for your team's success and applauding great plays. Please avoid all instances of poor sportsmanship. Also, for the safety of our student athletes, flash photography is not permitted at any time during gameplay. Mahalo for your cooperation. At 40, 6'10", senior number 10, Kwame Evans. At 40, 6'10", junior number 14, Asa Newell. At 40, 6'8", sophomore number 32, Cooper Flagg. At 40, 6'8", sophomore number 30, Liam McNeely. And at 40, 6'4", senior number 1, Chris Johnson. The head coach of the Eagles is Kevin Boyle. And now the starters for the Crusaders. At 40, 6'2", sophomore number 35, Pupu Sepulona. At center, 6'2", junior number 33, Jordan Mulsihulai. At 45'11", sophomore number 4, Stone Kanoa. At 45'10", sophomore number 12, Jansen Ruvelto. And at 45'10", junior number 15, JC Amos. The head coach of the Crusaders is Dan Hale.
Thank you, Kyle. St. Louis won the Interscholastic League of Honolulu last year and also the Hawaii High School Athletic Association State Championship, but all 5 of the starters from that team are no longer here.
It almost doesn't matter though, right?
Well, those 5 starters, some of them are in the crowd, but they would like to be here to have this experience.
No, they were such a great team last year, and it does matter because those guys were so spectacular. Iva Arquette, Hayden Bayudon, so many others, and most others actually playing other sports. They were the multi-sport team of last year, but they were state champions in basketball.
Asa Newell to tip it off for Montverde against Pupu Sepulona. 6'2" versus 6'9", and here we go. Crusaders win the tap. They are attacking the goal to the Eva end of the lower gym. This is Kanoa being hounded by Liam McNeely. Sepulona needs some help. Hands it off to Ramos. Rovelto 3. Offensive rebound by the Crusaders. Pump fake and foul. And Jordan Posiulai will go to the line.
St. Louis just coming out with that football toughness that makes him so good out on the field. Going up and attacking, you know, there's never really fear. I think they're so used to playing at such a high level on the football field that when they come out and see this, they just take it as a challenge. I know they're probably playing a little bit uphill right now, but man, their mentality won't say that.
Crusader Nation in force here at the Father Bay Athletic Center. And Sepulona hits both. St. Louis leading it 2-0 over the Montverde Academy Eagles out of Montverde, Florida. This is Chris Johnson to Cooper Flagg, the super sophomore. Gives it to McNeely. Knocked out of bounds, hustling after it. Sepulona.
Raider Nation has turned into Crusader Nation too, as our own basketball team is getting into this defense chant too.
That's a great point, Carter.
That's the great thing you get to see, especially on this first round of basketball in the Iolani Classic. It really is Hawaii versus everybody.
Offensive rebound, fouled going up. That's Kwame Evans. And he will go to the line to shoot a pair. Kwame, 6'9", 200-pound senior out of Baltimore, Maryland. He's headed to Oregon.
They just have so many weapons. so many guys that can go do what Kwame Evans just did there and attack the rack, grab it, be skilled enough to take a bump and still finish it. And not sure who you decide to block out if you have a choice.
Kwame makes 1 of 2. ESPN ranks him as the number 12 senior. Long baseball pass out of bounds. Good idea.
Right, that was the pass that was open. Unfortunately, threw it a little bit long. It would have been a whole nother thing, though. Even if he caught it, what do you do with it? You have guys that are that long chasing you at full speed and the ability to go up on a dime. So
Liam McNeely inside to Evans. Cepolona with the rebound. Stolen away from him by Kwame Evans. Bounce pass to Cooper Flag, and he lays it up and in.
all these guys are able to run the floor. They can defend out on the perimeter, get touches on balls due to their length and long arms. So dangerous.
Knocked away and into the backcourt. Rovelto retrieves, and he is fouled by Cooper Flag.
Got the call for the extended hand check on the perimeter. Sometimes the referees will allow you to give a little bump, give a little hand check on that hit, but if they leave it there, that's an indicator to make the call.
Second team foul on the Eagles. Pupu in the lane, gets that one to go. Pupu Cepolona, he's got 4. All of St. Louis's points. They lead it by 1. It's Chris Johnson. Over to Evans. His 3 is a little short. The rebound by Newell. And yet another. Cooper Flag has 4 points. Some backcourt pressure being applied by the Eagles. Knocked out of bounds. We've called the name Cooper Flag a few times. We mentioned all the seniors going to the big name colleges. Cooper Flag is rated by ESPN as the number 2 sophomore in the country. You might ask, who's the number 1 sophomore? Cameron Boozer. I'll give you one guess who Cameron Boozer is related to.
Cooper Flag, by many, is considered maybe the best prospect on this team, on a team full of prospects and older players that are committed to schools like Duke and Kansas and Georgetown and Oregon.
The Cooper Flag has just picked up his 2nd personal foul.
But you can see it early on, you know, with Cooper Flag. He's so agile, you know, has that long frame, but the ability to stop on a dime, get up, finish, soft touch around the rim. Also a great defender.
Rovelto with it, working against Flag. Crusaders rotate the ball. Shanson Rovelto still with it. Gets it to Ramos. Ramos guarded by Johnson. Offensive foul called.
Interesting call there. Looked like Rovelto got caught up, ran into his own guy, and gave a little bump. Looked like a moving or a pushing screen type.
Nice pass inside for the dunk, Asa Newell.
Sometimes you see a team like this really just spread people out and give these skilled athletes, these quality players, the room to attack and create.
Oh my. 3rd personal foul on Cooper Flag. 3 of the 4 team fouls. And Curtis Givens will check in for Cooper Flag.
Wow, 3 fouls. We're still in the first half of the first quarter.
St. Louis working against a bit of pressure. Get the ball across. Another errant pass, so it gets knocked out of bounds.
To continue on that point, a team like Montverde, as skilled as they are, sometimes teams just spread out, high ball screen, and just give them the room to roam. But this team's running action, and you saw it on that last bucket for them, had the cross screen down to the block, wide open. So beside having to deal with these skilled players, they're going to have to deal with screens.
Pupusepalona with some fancy footwork along the baseline. But here come the Eagles. Another dunk. That's 2 for Asa Newell. He's got 4. And with Montverde taking a 5-point lead, St. Louis head coach Dan Hale calls timeout.
It seems silly sometimes when you take a team like St. Louis going up against Montverde for the coaches to get angry at something because these guys are capable of so much. Not players that you're going to go up against in your regular league. I don't care what state you're in for the most part. But as a coach, you're looking for quality plays. You're looking for quality efforts, not just giving up on possessions, whether it's offensive or defensive. So you can still get mad at them because these are growing moments for your team because it's still the preseason. All of these teams, I don't care if you're from the mainland, you're from Hawaii, you're trying to go win your state championship. And Montverde, you know, trying to go win a national championship potentially. So there's always time to learn something or to avoid a bad habit. And that's why you get a timeout at this juncture. Not necessarily to think like, oh man, this is the run that's going to lose us the game. But it is an impactful moment, a teaching moment for St. Louis.
For our audience in Florida and other places, good morning. It's after 1 a.m. And Coach Dean Shimamoto knows what he speaks of. He played in this tournament. He was the head coach of the Iolani Raiders. You played against Montverde in the quarterfinals. You played against Oak Hill Academy. And you've talked to your team in that huddle when they weather storms and when they experience some hardship.
You want your team to compete, but you also have to be realistic about what the goals are. Obviously, you're not going to be as angry as you are as in a regular game where you know you're the better team or a team that can compete and win, but you do want your team to put out their best effort, make good decisions, and play.
Montverde with it after a block shot on the other end. Into the game, Derek Queen. His miss gets cleaned up and put back in by Sean Stewart. Sean Stewart is going to Duke University. Block shot by Queen. Here come the Eagles. Lay it up and in, Chris Johnson. 13-4, 2:45 to go here in the first quarter. Thanks for joining us on YouTube for the Iolani Prep Basketball Classic presented by the Twin Fin. Pupusepalona 3, no good. Liam McQueen, he'll try a 3, and his gets hit and will go to the line to shoot 3 after being fouled by Stone Kanoa.
Generally, you think about athleticism as dunks, as breakaways, as flashy things, what we saw basically in the warm-ups, but the athleticism of these guys allows them to stay in such great control while being at a high speed. You see them get out in transition and Euro step 6 feet across the key and then finger roll it softly off the rim, and that's the next level action that you're getting out of a top-ranked team with top-rated players going to top-level colleges.
Yeah, those are big steps by the 6'8" McQueen, who hits 2 of 3. Liam comes into this game leading the Eagles in scoring, just under 14 points per game. Ball knocked out of bounds and over the line. Crusaders will maintain possession.
Tall order for Shanson Revelto bringing that ball up. You have a tough defender on you in Gibbs Lawhorn, and then you have 6'8" Derek Queen running at you to trap.
Another Crusader turnover. This is Curtis Givens, 6'2" junior guard. Gives it to Queen. Inside to McNeely.
Similar action there to get McNeely on that cross screen back cut, wide open to the block. They do have to extend St. Louis because these guys all can shoot it.
Cepolona double team, did a good job to get it to Meredith, but he got his shot blocked.
You see how quickly those windows close. Two wide open players under the basket, and most times when they're playing in league play here, that's a bucket. But the closing speed, the length of these Montverde defenders is really a problem.
Keanu Meacham checks in for St. Louis, as does Jordan Nunuha. Meacham with it now, working against Givens. This is Meredith at the high post. Nice pass to Nunuha, who lays it up and in.
Really great crafty finish by Nunuha. Made the catch, reverse with the right hand, the inside hand. Made it really tough to gauge and block if you're the Montverde defender.
It's the highlight of the game so far for St. Louis. Let's see if they can build upon that momentum here. Ruelto, 15 on the shot clock. Pulls up for a long three. That falls out of bounds.
You saw Ruelto and the St. Louis offense go high ball screen there. Ruelto had 6'8" on him. And then ball screen switch to 6'8". Then had to shoot a high deep three that nearly touched the ceiling to get that ball close to the basket.
Yeah. 6'8" guards. Evans for a three, nothing but net. Kwame Evans, he's got 4. Montverde has 20, St. Louis has 6. 12 seconds to go in the first quarter. Crusaders got the ball down low to Jordan Posiulai. He'll go to the line.
Crusaders really have to be perfect on every possession. Not a lot of openings. The windows are really small, and just starting with that pass from Ruelto to get it over that first wave of defenders, and then a jump touch pass on the money. And even that was nearly covered by the Montverde Eagles. Just got called for the foul.
Jordan hits 1 of 2. Cuts the lead to 13. 5 seconds. This is Queen, spins baseline, bounces it off the glass as the buzzer sounds. So after 8 minutes, Montverde 22, St. Louis 7, and we'll be back after this short message. Those were the beautiful images of the Twin Fin, which is the presenting sponsor of the Iolani Prep Basketball Classic. And if you're watching this and you're thinking, hey, Hawaii, that might be a good idea during the holidays, the Twin Fin would be a good idea for where you stay when you come to Waikiki.
Right across from the beach. If you're following social media, if you're at Iolani Classic on Instagram, you might be seeing a lot of players posting a little morning session on the beach, whether they're relaxing or getting a workout in, quick jump in the water. But The twin fin is really taking care of this crew, and they seem to be enjoying it.
And you can take a quick jump in the water after getting there very quickly. It is on Kalakaua Avenue across the street from Waikiki Beach.
What would you say, about 20 feet?
Yeah. Start of the second quarter here. Thanks for joining us on YouTube. We're going to call Kwame Evans for steps. Rovelto working against Draven Gibbs Lawhorn. Nice bounce pass underneath. Kind of tough though when Nanuha got it and 3 Eagles converged. And he was a little behind the backboard. Lucky for the Crusaders, the ball went out of bounds off an Eagle. Pupu with a long shot off the back. The Nuha's 3 hits the bottom of the net. Excuse me, that was Meacham. Keanu Meacham with the long 3-pointer from the corner, the freshman.
St. Louis showing some great flashes. Again, as you mentioned earlier, that a lot of their defending champion, state champion team is gone. But these guys are here to fill in those spaces, and they're doing a great job so far for this Crusader squad against a very, very good Montverde team.
A very young St. Louis squad. Bounce pass through the lane, and Draven Gibbs Lawhorn converts. Another St. Louis turnover.
Rovelto really getting a lot of work here at the point guard spot. The passes look really open and really easy when you're sitting back here, but not so much when you're handling the ball against the quickest defenders that they've seen in a long time.
Queen can't get it to go, but he will take a trip to the line. Derek Queen, 2 years ago, was the Max Preps National Freshman of the Year. As a junior, ESPN ranks him as the 12th best recruit in the country in the class of 2024. Derek Queen hits both. He has offers from Georgia Tech, LSU, Indiana, Syracuse, Auburn, Virginia Tech, Maryland, Alabama, so on and so forth.
Every team in the country.
When you're the National Freshman of the Year, that attracts some attention. 6'8", 230-pounder. And Nanuha got it past Derek Queen for the layup. Jordan's got 4.
They tried that connection earlier, the long pass against the press, and were able to connect it right on the money this time. And it didn't look like he was going to be able to sneak that one in, but found a way.
Second chance for the Eagles is a 3-pointer from Draven Gibbs Lawhorn. 29-12.
These teams, because you have to commit so much to the inside, those kicks coming back out are wide open. Those inside out, we call them like gun kicks. They have the shooting guns nowadays where these kids can get 1,000 shots up in about 45 minutes, and it just comes inside out as many as you want, as quick as you want, and that was one of those.
Yeah, it collects those rebounds and spits it right back at you. But there he is again. Draven's Gibbs Lawhorn. He's got 7. And Coach Dan Hale will call another timeout. 30-second timeout.
Well, every bit is advertised. Montverde Academy gives Lawhorn, looks like he's gliding out there as he's getting up the court and not expending a ton of effort just because of the athleticism they have and the control. But don't be fooled. These guys aren't just great athletes. They're very, very skilled players that are experienced, composed, understand the game at a really high level. I mean, really, these are college players on a high school court.
The winner of this game will play Iolani on Monday night at 6:30. The Iolani Raiders defeated Radford earlier today, 54-43. Ramos working against Johnson, finds some room, gives it to Leilehua. Gonna call goaltending.
No
So
replay
credit
here.
Leilehua with the bucket. He's got 6.
Yeah, no replay here. I'm not sure. That looked like maybe it was in the earlier part and might not have even made it all the way to the rim, but Leilehua did the smart thing of trying to get it up quick, so Stewart had to make a decision on whether or not to put that one into the stands.
I mentioned goaltending earlier this morning during breakfast. A missed shot. Eagles with the rebound. Throw it down. That's 3 dunks for Asa Newell for all 6 of his points. So Iolani School, head of school Timothy R. Cottrell was eating, and we were talking about the tournament. We're talking about what it benefits players, coaches, fans, and also officials. And we're talking about, reffing games at this level, above the rim, physicality, the quickness, the speed. And one of the things I mentioned was they're not used to calling goaltending.
Not a lot of them here. You'll see one from time to time if we do have some bigs or some extra athleticism in the leagues here in Hawaii, but not always do we see multiple 6'8" who are athletic and long and understand how to play the game and be in the right position defensively to go up and get those blocks.
Sepalona hits both. He came into this game the leading scorer, 16.1 points per game. Stolen away by J.C. Ramos. Working against Lawhorn. Can't get that one to fall. So quickly, here come the Eagles. Chris Johnson fouled from behind by Stone Kanoa.
Chris Johnson landed a little awkwardly on that push from the back, half Euro step.
That is the 5th team foul called against St. Louis. Montverde has 7. Knocked away and stolen by the Crusaders. Leilehua, just a freshman, working against McNeely. His pass is intercepted. Get ready for number 4 for Asa Newell. Goes with the left hand. The net is still hung up.
Looks as though he nearly hit his hair on the rim.
Wow.
So high, so long.
4 dunks. Are you keeping track of dunks, Carter? No. Stone Kanoa over to Leilehua. Inside to Sepalona. He's double teamed. Somehow gets it to Leilehua. Blocking foul called on Newell. That'll be his 2nd.
One of those situations where Leilehua and Sepalona both didn't want the ball.
In the corner.
We saw 2 bigs just closing in on that corner on that sideline, and their best option was to give it back to each other and give it back to each other again. Unfortunately, for Cepolona, he was able to draw that blocking call on Montverde.
Pupu hits both. He's 6 for 6 from the line, 8 points. 3 minutes to go until halftime. Foul away from the ball on Cepolona.
I like to think of Cepolona at 6'2", the sophomores. He's kind of like a Hawaii-type Zion Williamson. Really good athlete. Has that ability to play much bigger than his actual size.
Stewart to Newell. Offensive foul called on Newell. That is his 3rd personal foul. Cepolona drew that charge. He's having a game. Pupu Cepolona, the sophomore. 6'2" post player.
Got significant minutes as a freshman on that state championship team. One of the few to return who played a big role with them last year.
Nice pass, lay it up and in. Shanson Revelto.
Great execution by the Crusaders. Posu'ulai put down a great back screen and Revelto set it up really well.
Step back 3 from Johnson and he rattles that one in. He is headed to Kansas. 6'5", 175-pound senior from Fort Bend, Texas. Intercepted and dunked by Draven Gibbs Lawhorn. Knocked away, but out of bounds.
The tournament should consider for having judges for the first round games in a lot of cases, especially for Montverde. I'm giving that one a 9.
Okay.
Opening round of the dunk contest.
There will be the Alakai dunk contest on Monday night after all the quarterfinal games. That'll be about, I'd say, 9:45 Hawaii Standard Time. Very early in the morning in Florida.
Let's make sure people are aware that Gibbs Lawhorn is the shortest player on the team at 6 feet, but maybe the most dynamic of athletes.
Another layup for the Crusaders, this time Stone Kanoa, 5'11" sophomore. That pass was too high for Asa Newell. That means it was really high. Cepolona gets in deep. But here come the Eagles. Lob for Evans. Johnson to Evans. Another dunk for Montverde. They lead it by 20. Kwame Evans misses that dunk.
The passes have to be so accurate, on time. Receivers have to be moving to the ball, and even at that, you still may not complete it. But these athletes in the passing lanes are incredible.
Here comes Montverde again. Chris Johnson's 3. No good. Newell with the rebound and drops it through the net ever so delicately. He's got 10. Kanoa underneath. Can't finish there. But Evans, big Nike, is on the black line. Ball to the Crusaders.
A lot of teams out here you'll see with team shoes as Nike-sponsored schools. But Montverde, they're a different story. They have their selection of shoes in a lot of cases, and you can see that wide array of footwear.
Rainbow of colors. That is the 4th personal foul on Asa Newell. 10th team foul. So he will take a seat. Sean Stewart will check in for him. Sean Stewart, number 7 in the ESPN ranking of seniors. 2nd at his position, 2nd in the region, 1st in the state. Coming off the bench today.
How scary is that?
It's extremely scary.
Sean Stewart really hasn't shown much tonight.
He's going to Duke.
And again, yeah, he might be the highest rated player going to Duke, so obviously he's spectacular, but a lot of times it's beyond the second round, beyond the first round that these guys start turning it on.
This is wild. 6'8", 230-pound Derek Queen just hit a 3 to put the Montverde Eagles up by 24 points, 47-23 at the half here at Iolani School, the Iolani Prep Basketball Classic. Iolani School is a day school founded in 1863, K-12 school. It's also a boarding school for high school students in grades 9 through 12. And here's a quick look at the summer residential program. You can also come here and spend some time at Iolani in the summertime. Back here at Iolani School for the Iolani Prep Basketball Classic presented by the Twin Fin. This is day 1, the 4th game. There will be 4 more first round games tomorrow, starting at 2 p.m. Hawaii time. Then the quarterfinals start on Monday. We'll take Sunday off. It's a 16-team boys tournament. There's also a girls tournament that was played last week, 8 teams. Coach, some quick thoughts about the girls tournament? That was a fantastic display of basketball.
As always, the girls tournament didn't disappoint. You don't have the dunks, you don't have those types of plays, but you do have precision, high quality, high IQ basketball. These teams just execute. The girls work so hard constantly. Their motors are always on seemingly, and Incarnate Word, our champion out of Missouri, extended their winning streak to 70 games and came away with the tournament title in impressive fashion against a really good South Medford team. And I thought it was going to be a great game, and through one quarter it was a great game, and then they separated. And you saw every bit of that precision, you saw every bit of that IQ put to work, and discipline and execution. So good on so many levels. These girls, I mean, special. Don't sleep on them at all.
Natalie Potts from Incarnate Word, Donovan Hunter from South Medford, outstanding players heading to big colleges. And now we have the boys tournament, and we've got teams from Lake Oswego, Oregon, Millennium High School from Goodyear, Arizona, Milton from Georgia, Mount St. Joseph's, saw them earlier today, from Baltimore, Maryland, Mount Vernon from New York, St. Neumann Goretti Catholic High School from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. We've got Baldwin from the island of Maui, and then the local teams from this island of Oahu. And in terms of the teams from Oahu, I was looking this up. The teams in this tournament have won 46 of the 65 HHSAA state tournaments ever played, led by Iolani and Punahou. They each have 11. St. Louis Crusader program, they've got 7 state titles. Kamehameha-Kapalama, also 7. Radford, 4. Maryknoll, 3. Moanalua, 2. And Leilehua, that played in the most recent game, has 1. So the point of this is to say we're trying to get the best teams in Hawaii exposed to the best teams in the country, and sometimes international teams as well. This was the mission of Coach Glenn Young when he established this tournament in 1983. And Coach, it in its 39th year, it's doing that. I mean, I was a freshman in high school here when West Philadelphia came, and that layup line was a little less subdued, but it was even more amazing to us. It was the first time. But since those days, Hawaii basketball has grown. Maybe little steps here and there, but it is moving in that direction.
I think it's grown significantly from 1983.
Yeah,
for
4
sure.
decades worth of growth.
Absolutely. I mean, we've had some great players come through Hawaii. You know, if you had a player go play at the Division I level out of Hawaii, it was really special. It was something. It was something you'd consider nearly generational.
We can almost name those players.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, for maybe a 20 or 30-year stretch. And then it started hitting, right? And then you have the exposure of these players to that high-level basketball. Like you said, you were a freshman when you first saw it, and then there was kids that are sitting in this gym now that are 10 years old watching this, and they're impacted by it, and they want to play a little bit more basketball. They see the level that they need to be at to play at the highest level of even college, and it gets them excited about it. It gets them in the gym. It gets them practicing, and then when you have maybe the time where that interest, that motivation meets a certain body type and physicality, and they have that ability. They're 6 feet, 6'1", and they have that ability to compete athletically, and then that motivation matches up. Then you get players like a Derek Lowe that went on to be an All Pac-12 performer at Washington State. You have a JJ Mandequit who starred here last year, same size, has gotten offers from several Division I programs, and is now playing for Real Salt Lake Academy, who's also playing a national schedule. So it's really neat to see the progression of high school basketball going from guys that just are here and good in Hawaii to guys that now can make that transition. We've seen it a lot in football.
Yeah.
Right? We've seen guys that have progressed football-wise. We've seen Hawaii kids go out and become Heisman Trophy winners.
We have.
Starting quarterbacks in the NFL. I mean, it's pretty amazing, but that's not where it started 30 years ago. So it definitely is a progression, and you may even see it more in the girls' game, right? Where how many girls at the are at the Division I level that played here in Hawaii? We're seeing multiple per year on that scale. So an unbelievable vision by Glenn Young in 1983, and you know, just humbling going up to the mainland and getting blown out when you thought you had a really great team, and then deciding, hey, we're missing something here.
Yeah.
And the quality of basketball has really, really improved. We hope to have a shot clock soon in the Hawaii basketball game. It's proposed, and I think it's coming. But
next year, yeah.
The Classic was one of the tournaments that did have a shot clock for the last several years, among several other tournaments in the preseason here. But man, I can't even overstate how incredible it was for Glenn Young to have started this tournament in 1983.
Absolutely. And before we get started for the second half, Carter, do you have any thoughts from the numbers perspective on the first half?
Well, Montverde, they shot 68% from the field, shot 57% from 3 on 4 of 7, and they shot 507 from the free throw line. They held St. Louis to 7 of 20, which is 35%, and 14% from beyond the arc, 1 of 7. But St. Louis has done a good job of knocking down free throws when their players started drawing contact, and they're shooting at 8 of 10 and at an 80% clip. The turnovers are pretty even for a 24-point game here, but it's 11 St. Louis Crusader turnovers to 7 Montverde turnovers. So, and even the offensive rebounding side of things, it's been pretty even as St. Louis has found some ways to box out those big guys on the offensive end and get those rebounds.
Well, in fairness, they've only missed 9 shots. So not a lot of offensive rebounds to be had, but we'll count that as a win for St. Louis.
And several dunks to excite this crowd here in the lower gym of the Montverde Athletic Center. Montverde leading at 47-23, 16 minutes of basketball left. Crusaders with it to get us started here in the third quarter. Thanks for joining us. I'm John Tamanaha along with Dean Shimamoto and Carter Uechi. Sepalona, nice feed from Revolto. Pupu Sepalona's got 10.
Both a well-designed and well-executed play coming out to start the half. Backdoor action by Sepalona, but the pass by Shanson Revolto.
On the other end, Stewart with a dunk. That's Sean Stewart's first points of the game. Pupu Sepalona gets that one to go.
Sepalona is so good around the rim. He's giving up a lot of inches when he's around the basket, but has a way of just throwing his body in there and still being able to get that shot off with that lefty finish.
In their last game, St. Louis, Sepalona scored 16 points against Kohala at Kapa'a. He's got 12 against Montverde Academy. And we almost have a whole half to play. Whoa! Cooper flag throws high into the Honolulu night and threw that one down. Oh
I guess he was rested. He sat for about a quarter and a half because he picked up those fouls so quickly and went right after it.
Incredible bounce. Wow. Sepalona for 3. Pupu Sepalona.
The two sophomores showing out. Sepalona on the Crusader side showed the inside game, and then the Ranger at 3, and Cooper flag.
Wow. Chris Johnson. Evans, the flag. He'll stop and pop and hit.
First he went to the hole, took off from just inside the free throw line and dunked it over 2 guys, and then came back with a fading jumper.
Sepalona at the other end. He's got 17 to lead all scorers. Cooper flag from 3. Stewart with the putback.
They had a nice little back and forth there, Sepalona and flag.
Wow. JC Ramos to Pupu Sepalona. Revelto. Ramos back to Revelto, working against Flag. Finally gets it to Kanoa. Revelto knocked away by Flag and out of bounds. So a block shot for Cooper. He came into this game leading Montverde in assists, steals, and blocks, and rebounds. Sophomore. Wow.
No mistake that he's the number 2 player in the sophomore class, and that class of 25 is considered one of the best classes really of all time. They're looked at as something special all the way down, even considering seniors and juniors.
Stewart sinks a jumper. He's got 6, all in the second half. 30-second timeout called by Dan Hale, coach of the St. Louis Crusaders. He has used 3 of his 5. That class, I mentioned it a little while ago, headed, according to ESPN, by the #1 sophomore recruit, Cameron Boozer, the son of Carlos Boozer. Flag is from Newport, Maine. Last year as a freshman, he was the Gatorade Player of the Year in Maine. You don't hear that too much, Gatorade Player of the Year, freshman. He has offers from Duke, UCLA, Georgia, Iowa, Michigan, West Virginia, and Maine, of course.
He'll have his choice.
Hoping and praying to stay, that he stays home.
Wouldn't that be great?
Or goes home.
Yeah, he'll have his choice of college. But nowadays, you see so many guys going different routes, going overseas, some playing for the local teams, or picking all types of different colleges now.
Crusaders trying to get something positive going here. We're halfway through the third quarter. Traveling call.
Not a lot of holes in that defense. Montverde not extending or overextending themselves. You see them sitting back, really just playing, staying in front, and their length allows them to stay one step off. They can still eat up that drive, but they can still extend and contest the 3. So not so easy to find the gap. And when that shot clock runs down, it puts someone in a really bad spot.
Liam McNeely with it for the Eagles. Gets it to Flag. Back to McNeely. This time he's underneath and lays it up and in.
There you saw that passing ability by Cooper Flag. Came right off that bottom screen on the baseline and saw his man. Almost a sideways, no-look overhead pass. Right on the money.
Cepalona fouled by Evans. Derek Queen, Curtis Givens, and Draven Gibbs Lawhorn to check in for Montverde. Leilehua working against Givens. Cepalona pulls up, launches a high arcing 3 and knocks it off the glass. He's got 20. He's on the all-tournament team. I'm calling it right now in the third quarter of their first round game. And there he is. Cepalona counts if it goes, and it does. A game for the ages. Pupu Cepalona going to the line with the and one opportunity.
What a special night for Pupu Cebalona.
Wow.
The game is what it is, but it's just fun watching him right now.
Shooting one shot.
Pupu, 23 points, 7 of 7 from the line, 2 3-pointers. The sophomore having a night here in the Iolani Prep Basketball Classic. Queen scores underneath. I was kind of rooting for Cebalona to get a block from behind there somehow.
Hey, John, let me tell you, I played in the Iolani Classic. I was a sophomore. We played against the #1 team in the country in Dunbar.
Oh.
And I hit 1 3. And I felt really proud of myself. Pupu Cebalona has 23 points
Wow.
against the #1 team in the country. What a feeling. I mean, that was 30 years ago for me.
Yeah. Wow.
And I still remember that. I still remember the shot. I remember where I was on the wing. And these memories that these kids will have, I mean, obviously Pupu will remember this, but his friends will all remember this.
Queen was going up for a monster dunk. Lost a hand a little bit. Still got it to go. Where were you, Coach Dean? Where on the court?
I was on the left side from 3. Donta Bright, one of the top-ranked players in the country, came out to contest, so I hit it in his face, I guess. But it went in. That's all that counts.
Yeah, back in the day, Dunbar. There wasn't many schools bigger than that for high school basketball.
For those that follow high school basketball, Dunbar had Donta Bright, Michael Lloyd, Keith Booth, who went on to play for the Chicago Bulls.
Meacham off the glass.
That was the first points that weren't scored by Pupu in this third quarter. He had the first 15.
Ball to the Crusaders. 1:29 to go here in quarter number 3. Montverde up 23. Lots of good things happening here for the Crusaders. Very young team. The Neumann momentarily saved that from going out of bounds, but it does.
You can really see their confidence going up, you know, and the confidence for this team being so young is really, really important. A lot of these guys didn't get significant minutes last year on that very good state championship team. So all these experiences are super valuable for them. But being successful here, that confidence isn't going to die after this game ends. It's going to take them into their league, and this is going to be so great as they go on and play against a really tough schedule in the ILH.
Yeah. Wow, nice pair of passes, but Cooper flagged with a pair of blocks. And here come the Eagles. Stolen away though. Ramos, J.C. Ramos, with a wonderful steal. He's one of the older players on this team as a junior. Giovanni J.C. Ramos.
The St. Louis team just scratching and clawing. And sometimes when you don't have that experience, that time on the court, all you know how to do is fight. You just want to keep surviving and scrapping for balls. That's how you earn minutes on the floor.
Ramos gets it in. Gets it back. But he has his shot blocked out of bounds.
That was really a case of going into the trees.
Yeah.
Hands up, didn't even jump, just throwing a ball in a forest, and it's going to hit some branch on the way up. That's what happened.
16.2 seconds to go here in the third. Inbounds pass is stolen by Queen, and he is fouled by Posiulai.
Ramos had nowhere to go with that. Guys were moving, and those long arms were still in the way, and he didn't have an option.
Givens gives it to Newell. Three-pointer by Cooper. Flag is long, but Queen is there for the rebound. And he scores just before the buzzer to give Montverde a 28-point lead after 3 quarters here at the Iolani Prep Basketball Classic. And we'll be back after this short message.
I love how in Hawaii we are all connected. That's Layla. She just bought this house.
Hey, welcome.
And that's her first Hawaiian loan officer, Gloria.
Oh, you know I hooked my girl up.
Of course, they're friends now. Ron crushed it at Gloria's wedding.
Oh. Hey, thanks, Marcus.
So I booked him to play tonight.
Yeah, you.
First Hawaiian Bank keeps you connected to your finances and a whole lot more.
Back here in the lower gym of the Father Boy Athletic Center, John Tamanaha along with Dean Shimamoto and Carter Uechi. Carter, any numbers that stand out for you after 3 quarters?
Yeah, that quarter was 21-17 in favor of Montverde, but 15 of those 17 points were scored by Pupu in a variety of ways. He had 2 threes, 4 2-point baskets, and then a free throw to complete a 3-point play. So, yeah, Pupu took over in that third quarter for St. Louis.
They asked me to help with the all-tournament team this year, so I already...
You have your vote in.
I have shoved a lot of votes toward Pupu, but yeah, wow, what a game.
Special performance by Pupu, especially in that quarter. And I think how fitting. Did you see that commercial there?
Yeah.
Marcus Mariota.
Yep. Another dunk by Asa Newell.
Marcus Mariota, for those unaware, the Atlanta Falcons quarterback, former Titans quarterback, former Raiders quarterback, and former Heisman Trophy winner.
Former St. Louis Crusader quarterback. Also a soccer player when he was in high school here in Honolulu. So wasn't playing basketball. These Pupu Sepalona off the mark on that 3-pointer. And here come the Eagles. Queen is fouled. Somewhat intentionally.
Interesting there, they didn't call an intentional foul.
Yeah.
Looked like a straight push. Not really a harmful thing at that point there, but not something you want to see progress, because I'm sure there'll be a couple more breakaways, but you don't want to get someone injured on either side of the ball in a game like this.
Another St. Louis quarterback who is in the NFL, Tua Tagovailoa of the Miami Dolphins. I think people all around the country have heard of St. Louis Honolulu prep football. These are the basketballers from the school, just about 1.5 miles up Kapiolani Boulevard and Wailea Avenue. They're down by 31. So Montverde Academy, 7-time national champion, current #1 ranked team in max preps. Givens for 3, bang. He's on the score sheet.
Montverde picking up in the full court, and you might be thinking, why are they pressing up 34 points in the fourth quarter? Well, a lot of these teams, they've come a long way. And they've come in a couple nights ago, and they're several time zones away, and they do need to get their legs under them. They do need to get acclimated. get adjusted to the weather, to the time, obviously, but also to the floor, also to the basketball, also to the referees. So the more time that they can put out here on the floor doing the things that they're gonna do, more than likely over the next few days of this tournament as they face stiffer competition, they want to get them used to it. They want to get their win there. They want to get them used to playing basketball in Hawaii. So this is as much of a conditioning trip and getting used to playing. As you remember, Cooper Flagg missed a lot of that first quarter, missed a lot of that first half. So they do want him and all their other guys to get a good run in today.
Coach Dan Hale of the St. Louis Crusaders called his 4th of 5 timeouts here with 5:51 remaining. Dan Hale is from another school that you may have heard of out there on the mainland, Punahou School, also here in Honolulu. Dan Hale won 3 state titles, 79, 80, and 81. 1979 state champions, one of his teammates, former President Barack Obama. Dan Hale went on to play at the University of Hawaii. I remember going to those games and cheering for the local guy. One of those local guys, too, and you heard him calling games earlier with Carter Wetchy, Michael Monk, a 2-sport athlete at University of Hawaii at Manoa.
It really did have that feel, that similar feeling that you talked about. Rival high schools, Iolani School and Punahou. And once they go and play for Hawaii.
A bounce and dunk by Gibbs Lawhorn. What do you score that, Coach? You gave out a 9 earlier.
Yeah, I'm going on 9.5. The difficulty off of the bounce to get it also in one try. So he has a high likelihood of advancing to the next round for the dunk contest.
We have a new flag into the game. This is Ace Flag, the twin brother of Cooper.
I read that in 8th grade. They were both 6'7". Inbounds pass. Let's see what he does this time. A 2-hand over the top. Gibbs Lawhorn. Back-to-back dunks.
Listed at just 6 feet. So that probably doesn't include the hair, but man, the bounce.
In deep, but can't finish, was Posiulai.
The pieces that this St. Louis Crusader team has to work with, Posiulai, great footwork on the inside, uses his body so well, finishes also with his left, just a junior. You saw Pupu Sepulona work his way to the block sometimes, stay out on the perimeter. He can get in there with that lefty finish. He'll be tough on the inside. And then they have some pieces, Rivelto and Nunuha and Meacham. They're going to be a tough team to beat.
Yeah.
I mean, 10-0 right now against Hawaii competition in the preseason. Looking to continue that and defend that state championship.
Checking into the game for the Eagles, Jackson Cook, a senior, and Dahani Miller, a freshman. Queen for 3. Splashes that one through.
Dahani Miller, the son of assistant coach Ray Miller. And Ray Miller has been an absolute fixture at the side of Coach Kevin Boyle. And if you ever interacted with their team, Ray is a great personality, really great guy. So really neat to see his son here playing for Montverde.
Pupu Sepulona with another 3. And the Eagles score at the other end, Ace Flag. But Sepulona has 26 points.
26 of the Crusader 43.
Wow.
What a half.
Cepolona against ace flag, fall away. Comes up a bit short. I'm trying not to oversell this, Coach, but Wes Nakama is over there on the side, and he's kind of a historian of the Iolani Classic. He and I are about the same vintage, you know, mid-'80s graduates. But Cepolona's outing here goes into the annals, the history, this game he's having as a sophomore against Montverde. That becomes a note on 2022 already.
It's hard to project 20 years into the future, but it'll be talked about. It'll be remembered by him, all these people, his friends that are here, people from other teams remembering this. I know it's not a game-winning performance or anything like that, but for him to do this against a team this good, with guys this good.
It's hard to score 26 points.
No, and you know, a lot of these
game.
guys, they're not there now, but they'll be in the NBA.
Yeah. And I do want to say this, Cepolona's points were hard-earned. It wasn't like he was gifted any of them. And he made his free throws. Wow. Leilehua, bounce pass into Kanoa Stone. Three on the other end, in, out, and back in to Hani Miller, the freshman from Roselle, New Jersey. Under 3 minutes to go here. Cepolona steps back on ace flag. Rebound by Miller. Up ahead to Stewart. Stops and pops in the lane, is off. Miller with the rebound. They won't give him the shot. Ball out of bounds.
During my tenure as a coach, we had Montverde in their later years, more recent years, when R.J. Barrett was playing on that team, Cade Cunningham, Precious Achua, Caleb Houston, Moses Moody. All guys that are currently in the NBA.
Amazing.
But this program has also had guys like Ben Simmons.
Flag can't get the dunk to go down with Stewart with the second chance. He's in double figures, all 10 points in the second half for Stewart from Windermere, Florida. He's headed to Duke.
Checking back in for the Crusaders, number 44, Adrian Meredith. Also entering the game, number 1, Aaron Ogliam.
Aaron Ogliam and Adrian Meredith check into the game for St. Louis. 1:40 to go. Montverde is up to 90 points. Meredith, the nifty move underneath. Ace flag down low with the turnaround, off the window and in. He's got 4.
I love that Coach Dan Hales let Cepolona ride this one out. Really got it going. Let this night be an even more special one.
There he goes, 2 more. Up to 28. High lob out of bounds. Crusaders will have 2 days off. Another set of first-round games, 4 first-round games tomorrow, and then an off day for everybody before the tournament resumes on Monday.
It's a really neat schedule. It doesn't always work out this way, but when the tournament can span the weekend and then you have that Sunday off, it gives these guys an opportunity to go and explore Hawaii. I know they want to stay fresh for their games, but they have an entire day to go and do something. They don't have to play at night.
Use the sunblock, guys. Sepulona, step back three, rattles around and rolls off. The crowd was wishing for that one to roll in.
Oh man, that would have been so great for 30.
Rebound grab by TJ Sedek. Up ahead, Agliam with a left-hand layup at the buzzer. So he gets in the scorebook. Big smile there by Aaron. He has scored against the Montverde Eagles, the #1 team in the country, 7-time national champion from Montverde, Florida. Two coaches shake hands. Wow. 92-49. So decided victory by the Eagles over the Crusaders. But I really like what I saw from St. Louis tonight, and it's cool to know that we have 3 more games to see Montverde. But as a coach, what do you take away from this sort of experience? You've been through it before.
You could see on the St. Louis Crusader bench all smiles. I don't think they had any illusions that they were going to win, but they did want to come out and compete, and they definitely competed. And always as a coach in the preseason, your big question is, did we get better today? And it doesn't matter if you won by 50, lost by 50, won by 1, or lost by 1. It doesn't matter who you played. The question is, did you get better? And they definitely got better today. They showed themselves what they're capable of. They showed what their leader is capable of. Because I always say this, that in order to win a championship, you need to have stars. And sometimes the guys that need to be stars aren't sure they can be stars. And sometimes your team isn't sure that that guy can be a star. But if there was any indication by tonight, St. Louis has a star in Sepulona, and his teammates believe it. If they didn't believe it before, they believe it now.
That was a lot of fun to watch him go to work. Carter, what did you see?
Basically, Montverde was efficient the whole game. They shot 67% in the whole game from the field, 50% from 3. The only thing is they missed 3 out of their 9 free throws. I guess that's the one. And the 10 turnovers, that's the one thing Coach Boyle would want to clean up. But other than that, they kept St. Louis 40% from the field, 25% from 3, forced 17 turnovers. So, yeah.
And they will take on the host team on Monday in the quarterfinals, the second quarterfinal game. Excuse me, the third quarterfinal game at 6:30 p.m. Hawaii time. Iolani Raiders versus the Montverde Academy Eagles. That'll be a lot of fun. Tomorrow, the second set of first round games, Maryknoll against Saints Neumann Goretti, Kamehameha-Kapalama versus Millennium, Baldwin versus Lake Oswego, and then Punahou against Milton. What are you looking forward to most tomorrow, Coach?
Neumann Goretti, the Max Preps at the time, number 10 team. I don't know what they have. I know they always have players. They have that Philadelphia tough to them, and I want to see what they got. You know, a lot of these schools, I do from a Hawaii perspective, I want to see what Punahou does against Milton. Where do they measure up? Because that would be the expectation tonight, right? Where is St. Louis going to beat Montverde? Probably not. But I want to see how they measure up. I want to see what memorable experience Punahou is going to have tomorrow night, or Maryknoll is going to have in the early game. You know, it's really going to be special for these guys, so it'd be great to see what they got and then see what these teams from the mainland are bringing, because they're going to match up likely later on in this tournament, and those are going to be wars. So to see everything that's going to go down, again, early Christmas present for all of us hoop lovers and hoop junkies here in Hawaii. I mean, this is the indication of Christmas for me.
Happy holidays, happy hoop days here in Honolulu. So Montverde defeats St. Louis 92-49. Thank you, Coach. Thank you, Carter. And on behalf of the students, faculty, staff, and administration of Iolani School, thank you for joining us here on YouTube. And of course, we have to thank our hardworking Iolani live crew. Many people and many hours go into making all of this possible. So for all of them, this is John Tamanaha saying thank you and good night, everybody. Aloha.